Can we give it up for the mayor of the city of Newark, Brick City? Wherever you want, you're the man. Come on, this is the real deal.
I hope so. So it's a pleasure to follow that panel. I think it was a high-powered panel that was here, and thank all of the elected officials and appointed officials and folks that were here. Next time, Governor, when you invite me to come speak, you got to tell me that Congresswoman Blondie Watson-Coleman is on here, because she's going to say everything that I wanted to say anyway, because we like kindred spirits. Yeah, I said she's going to say everything I want to say anyway. So, you know, I appreciate that, and it's incredibly important. This is a very serious topic, and I just want to thank you, Governor, for allowing us the opportunity to convene. I know a couple of years you've been trying to drag me here, and I've been busy and stubborn, but I'm glad I'm here now, and that things happen at the right time for the right reason. So I thank you, and I believe that all of the time, that things happen on time, that things happen in season. So I appreciate that. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to address something that I'm very, very, very passionate about, and I think is incredibly important to us all in this state and in this country. And I think the Congresswoman started us off in the right place by kind of reframing the discussion. And I think that that is incredibly important for us to reframe the discussion, because I know we like to feel like we're doing people favors by giving them opportunities to work because they've been through some things. We feel like, you know, that somehow that makes us, that elevates us, because we now are employing people who we think other people don't want to employ. We don't look at it as our job or our duty. We think we ask people questions about how they feel when they work, when we know how it feels to work, because we have a job. Right, and we talk to people in ways almost like they're children when they engage in this space, because we think somehow it's something that they're lacking that prevented them from being employed like the rest of us are employed. And we don't see the inequity that we live in, that we support every single day as part and parcel of the problem in and of itself. And because we don't address that, we get the opportunity to talk to people as if we are doing them something that we shouldn't be doing anyway. I know there's a scripture that says, how come when we fast, you do not see us? Or when we humble ourselves, you do not notice us. And that's because we have not sheltered the poor wanderer. We have not freed the oppressed from their yoke. We have not dealt with inequity in our community, in our city, in our states, in our country. And so because of those things, we have what we have. So I'm glad the Congressman laid that out, because that's incredibly important for all of us. There are over 100 million Americans in this country, over 100 million Americans who are poor and of low wealth. That means there are some people that are working and still not making money. There are people who have jobs and probably be better off without one. Because when they still have to pay their health care and bills, there are about 80 million Americans either have no health care or not enough health care. And we have not figured that part out. And because we have not figured that part out, what the Congresswoman said is right. People are not involved in society, so it's not really right to say we are re-entering them into society, because they were never entered into the society in the first place. And so the mechanisms and the systems that we put in place have really prevented people from engaging the same way. And when we realize that people don't engage in the same way, we know we should understand that as an educator. I know that people don't engage in the same material the same way. We know that, right? People don't engage. That's why the government had to create universal design for people who are disabled, because there are places that we build that they can't get into. And because there are places that we build that they can't get into, just off of our perspective, the way we see the world, we have to change it so that now people who normally could not enter the building can enter the building now. And the problem is some of us think that that's an issue because we created a special way for people to enter the building, but all that did is give you two ways to enter the building now. So even when we help the least of folks, we help you again. So, and that's important for us to know and figure out. So I wanted to at least start there. In Newark, obviously, when I came into office, we created a program around DPW, and I heard people saying that. But it's not, we always hire people in DPW all over the place for reentry because we think that that's where they should go. We always hire, like all over the country, people find jobs like that and they bring them into DPW. We created a special program outside of that not only gives people opportunity to work, but also gives them $16 an hour, but also, so we're not paying them like below minimum wage, we're paying them above minimum wage, and well, in New Jersey, it ain't minimum wage yet, so we're paying them way above minimum wage in New Jersey, and in most states around the country probably. But we also provide them opportunities for training, and with obviously with New Jersey Reentry Corporation, we partner with them as well to take care of the other issues that we often don't talk about that add to people's problems that they have, which is housing, their license, right? Access to their records and other kind of things that they need in order to move on with their life. I mean, to tell people you can't work because you don't have a license and then tell them that they have a $2,000 fine to get their license back when they just got out of jail is really a recipe to put people back in jail. And I think the people who created those unjust policies and laws know that those things exist. So it's not a secret that people find themselves back in those situations because they have to pay a license that they don't have the money to pay. And we want to thank New Jersey Reentry Corporation and folks like Governor McGreevey and all of you who tackle those problems to make it easier for people to get their license to do all these other specific things. Secondly, I want to say, and I know it's probably not popular, that there is no labor shortage. That I know it's not popular because everywhere I go around the country, and I go a lot of places, and I go all over the state, and people talk, and the first thing we say because of COVID, there's a labor shortage. That's just a lie. There is no labor shortage. People also say that the work population is aging out. That's also a lie. White men are aging out, but not the workforce population. It's a lie to say we are short of labor because there are a lot of people who've never been engaged in labor in the first place. There are people who do not get unemployment. They never filled out an unemployment application. They never held a job. They don't have the training, the certification, the investment. There's a lack in investment in people. We overlook whole communities of people who have not been able to get those jobs historically. So when people come to me and say, we have a lack of CDL drivers, I say, well, you know, there's a lot of women that would love to drive some trucks if you just certified them to be CDL drivers. There's a lot of folks in the undocumented community who you're so busy trying to prevent from getting a license that you can't even fill the jobs to do the work that you're trying to do to make the money that you can make because you don't want to employ them, certify them. And there's a whole slew of people that are formerly incarcerated, a whole slew of people who are formerly incarcerated who are wandering around looking for opportunity in a place where people keep saying there is no that there's no workers available for the jobs that they have. That is a lie. That is a lie. There are hundreds of workers who are roaming the streets in Newark. If you need some workers with our WIOA dollars in our workforce, we'll train them for you. We'll send them to you. All you have to do is hire them. I sat with an official of I won't say of a big company, a big hospital, who told me, listen, people keep saying there's a shortage of nurses. We don't have a shortage of nurses. The problem is our nurses are doing other jobs that they shouldn't be doing. So the shortage of nurses comes because the nurses can't do the job they got hired to do because they're doing 3 and 4 other jobs first. And we can't fill those jobs. And the problem is, why don't you go out in these communities and find people to train to get in those jobs? I know you got a whole bunch of people on Bergen and Custer who come in there every day that you have to turn away all the time, over and over and over again, who are looking for opportunities to work, who would love to work in a hospital, who would love to change beds or be a nurse practitioner or all these other kind of things. And we have to kind of stop limiting our thinking and our view to think that people, because they were incarcerated, that they have no skills. And so when we train them, we already looking for entry-level positions. You know, there's some people who are incarcerated who are actually smart and got skills and probably could pass by the entry-level position if you gave them the certification, the training, the opportunity, and gave them their damn license back. They could probably work in those jobs that you keep saying there's a shortage in. But we refuse to do that, and it has nothing to do with economic pressures, has nothing to do with inflation and COVID, has something to do with policy and discrimination, has something to do with unjust laws and not being able to tear the yoke off the oppressed from people who are wicked, who believe they are better than you, as was said earlier, because you got caught doing something that they do all the time. So at the end of the day, if we want to fix our economy, then we have to fix our ability to treat people fairly and give people opportunity. New Jersey is always crying about their taxes too high. But you know the first way you reduce people's taxes? Creating the opportunity for more people to pay them. I mean, it sounds simple, but guess what? That's mathematical sense. It's actually logical. If you know more people in your community owned homes, they could pay more property tax, which would relieve your tax burden. But you are so bent on not having people live next to you or owning the things you own or working where you work or certifying them or giving them talent and skills so they don't wind up in prison, so they now could be a competitive force in our economy, that you would rather pay more taxes than give them the opportunity that they deserve. I hope I'm not getting people angry. If you're getting angry, it's not meant for you. It's meant for the person sitting next to you. So I apologize already. I just, and I know there's a couple of people in here who taking notes. Just make sure you say Baraka. But because look, what I'm telling you is something I know. We created our program, and our reentry coordinator is here, and Rahman is here as well, Muhammad, who takes care of our workforce in all kind of ways. We created that because we know for a fact that there are people in our community who have a different beginning, who are on the road that we were on, but took a different beginning, a pathway to get there. And because we live in a community and a society, and community means all of us, because we live in it collectively and together, we have to ensure that people find a way on that pathway to get where they're supposed to go. Because sometimes we get twisted and lost, and we take the wrong turn when we're trying to get to the same place. And so since I know the way, I have to figure out systems to help people find their way. Especially since I've been there already. And because I've been there already, I know the pitfalls that exist that prevent people from getting there. And because I know the pitfalls that exist, my job is to go back and help people avoid those pitfalls. Or guess what? Build bridges over holes and tunnels through valleys. And reach out and reach back and pull people who are having a difficult time untangling themselves from stuff that men created to keep them in a position that they're in. And so we have to untangle them to get them where we all wind up, and stop feeling like we are somehow better than everybody else because we showed up before they got there. And most of the time, we showed up before they got there because somebody helped us out. And I know we believe that we got where we got by ourselves, but that's a huge lie. That some of you started out on third base and think you hit a home run. I don't know if y'all ready for all of this. I hope the people that didn't want to hear it left already. But At the end of the day, that's what we're doing here. You know, we're doing God's work here. That Governor McGreevey is doing God's work. I know you think you're doing God's work because somebody elected you, but that's not what that is. That's not what it is. So the work that's happening here today is God's work. We are trying to feed those that are hungry, clothe people that are naked, visit those that are incarcerated, change people's lives around to get. Nobody is born saying they want to go to jail. Nobody at 5 years old is talking about when I become 23, I want to do 23 years. That's not what's happening. Something happened between 5 and 15, between 5 and 20, that made folks take the left when they should have took the right, to be still when they should have went forward, to went forward when they should have stayed still. Something happened and somebody didn't intervene, and there were no systems in place to help them. And not blaming people's families. These people up there always talking about the family is broken. There's no broken family. The community is broken. The system is broken. I mean, your family, there's all kind of families that are around here in all kind of ways. You think we can legislate the way people's families look? No, we need to legislate so that all families, no matter how they look, can manage the things that are in their way so their children and their children's children can become successful. That's what we do as legislators, as administrators, create systems so people can navigate the pitfalls that are bound to come in their lives. Not if they come, when they come. Because we all ran into something. Thank God for my father. Thank God for my mother. Thank God for my grandmother, for my brother, for my friends, for my cousins. Thank God that I got opportunities that other people didn't get, that I stood at the same place in the same block in the same neighborhood at the same time on Avon and 14th in front of USEP Steak and Take, and I got an opportunity to go to Howard University and the person next to me did not. That I took the train to Washington, D.C., and some of our friends took the bus to Annandale. That dichotomous relationship created a different outcome. And because I saw that and know that at 15, 16, 17, when I came back, my job was to create opportunities so more people are catching the train to college and less the bus to Annandale. Yeah, and I was over there listening to somebody, we court-involved people. All of us are court-involved. I just want y'all to know that. I mean, every single person, you got a ticket, you're involved in the court. I mean, I've probably been court-involved more times than I can remember. But at the end of the day, I have people helping me. And that's all that means. And that's all this is giving people the opportunity. And so if we want to fix the economy, y'all, because I don't want to sit here and browbeat you all day. If we want to fix this economy, then we have to allow more people to participate in it. That's really what the message is. And if you're a business, a corporation, and you're running around here saying you don't have employees, then you're looking in the wrong place. Then you have to take a risk to begin to look for people and pull them in so that you don't have these problems. People say, oh, I can't find people to clean my building. I think that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard of in my life. People come to me and say, oh, we can't get people, housekeepers. Oh, you ain't looking for them if you can't find people to clean up the building. Are you kidding me? Oh, just they want more money. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're trying to figure out how to lift their family up the same way you're doing. Right? So you have to take a risk on these communities that have been left out and left over. If you do that, then we improve our economy. Then we move forward faster. All of this stuff, the supply chain, all this. Listen, I don't want to hear none of that craziness that these people are talking about. And I understand economically and politically you're supposed to be talking about this because it makes you sound smart. But at the end of the day, the reality is there are a lot of people who need employment. And if you were really serious about employing people, then you would find these people and get them a job. You would get them a job. And you would stop all of this legislative stuff that prevents people from working, take it out of their way, allow them the opportunity to work, allow them the opportunity to access housing, right? To get their license back, to do all these other specific things. Stop telling people they need a bachelor's degree to be a phone caller. Yeah, we need somebody to answer the phones, but they got to have a bachelor's degree. I mean, that's like ridiculous. That's what's going on. Oh, you want to sit in the front? If you're going to sit in the front, you at least need 2 credits or 10 credits after a bachelor's degree. That's ridiculous to me, right? We're preventing people from working, and we should be increasing people's opportunity to have access to employment. So I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to be here this afternoon. Hopefully I ain't scared you guys and never invite me back again. But I appreciate it, and I thank you for the work that you're doing daily to making sure our communities are better.